During the First and Second World Wars, the world power spent many resources on projects that could give them any advantage against rival countries. Some of them were a complete success, like the imposing and terrible atomic bomb. Others, bordering on the absurd, were a complete failure. Today I'm going to show you the military projects that went horribly wrong. Before starting the video, I invite you to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to see more content like this. Without further ado, let's start with the video. Death Ray Kugo. Based on Nikola Tesla's project, Japanese officials saw the idea of building a death ray as feasible. For its construction, they devised a giant magnetron that, according to Tesla's theory, would cause multiple physiological and physical damage, and even the death of all enemy forces in a long-range radius. After investing more than 2 million yen, $500,000 in the year 1930, in research and prototypes, the only beam they managed to build is what we currently know as microwaves. Flying all-terrain vehicle. During World War II, countries on both sides wanted to build an all-terrain vehicle that was also a flying vehicle in order to avoid obstacles on the battlefield. This is how several projects were born, until in 1960, the company BAC System would develop the Jumping Jeep project, which consisted of a vehicle capable of jumping thanks to a system of propellers embedded in the bodywork. Given the little need due to the lack of an armed conflict and short budgets, the project would be shelved forever. Habakkuk Project. How crazy can the idea of a ship made of ice and sawdust seem? During the Second World War, the British forces, looking for alternatives to the numerous sinkings due to submarine attacks and the lack of materials to build ships with firmer and thicker capacities, devised a giant aircraft carrier designed with a giant pykrete hull, named for its inventor, Geoffrey Pike, a material obtained by mixing 14% sawdust and 86% water. This mixture had the ability to melt 3 times slower than common ice and was 5 times harder. Due to the high investment that it cost to manufacture the prototype and to the fact that the airspace took on more and more strength during the war, the project would not see the light of day. Even so, the prototype took 3 summers to melt down. Anti-submarine gulls. If the previous project sounded crazy to you, before the same premise during the First World War, seeking to avoid submarine attacks, the British Thomas Mills had the brilliant idea of training seagulls that can detect submarines. The idea consisted of training seagulls to perch on the periscopes and defecate on them, thus making their vision impossible. The seagulls trained with a false periscope dragged by a ship, but at the time of the action, the effect on the German submarine fleet was nil. Luckily for these birds, they were spared going to war. The Davy Crockett. The Davy Crockett was a recoilless cannon mounted on a tripod with which a soldier could fire small nuclear bombs. It consisted of a 120 or 155 mm XM388 type recoilless projectile launcher, capable of hitting targets located at a range of between 2 and 4 kilometers away. It was deployed by the United States during the Cold War. Being a recoilless weapon, it could only fire its rocket out to 2.5 miles, meaning the same soldiers who fired it were likely also irradiated by the subsequent mini-mushroom cloud. Bat bombs. Bat bombs were an experimental weapon from World War II that was developed by the United States of America. The idea for bat bombs was given by dental surgeon Lytle S. Adams. The bomb basically consisted of a bat tied up next to a small firebomb. The idea was that when the bats were released, they would disperse within a radius of between 20 to 40 miles, 32 to 64 kilometers respectively, so that the incendiary bombs, which were programmed with time, would ignite and thus affect to the largest possible area. The team had to determine many variables that called into question the viability of the project, with the main and most important being figuring out the type of firebomb that would be strapped to the bat. Although the project did pass, fortunately the US military never put bat bombs into practice, as it was decided that strapping a firebomb to a flying animal might be a little unpredictable. Gay bomb. Although today it's crazy to think that an idea of these characteristics had been taken seriously, in 1994 the Wright Laboratory belonging to the United States Air Force presented a 3-sheet project with a series of possible non-lethal chemical weapons. Within these proposals, it is suggested that a strong aphrodisiac could be launched on enemy troops, with a substance that would produce homosexual behavior. The document also includes other unconventional ideas such as spraying enemy troops with bee pheromones and then hiding many hives in the combat area. The kitty bombs. During World War II, an official from the Office of Strategic Services proposed a cat-guided bomb to improve Air Force targeting against enemy battleships, basically based on the idea that cats don't like water. So if you strap a bomb to a cat and throw it at an enemy ship, the cat will automatically carry the bomb to the ship to explode. Unsurprisingly, this idea didn't pan out. During testing, it was discovered that cats tend to faint when they plummet to Earth, and the kitty bombs sank without a trace. 70 camels of the U.S. Camel Corps. Camels are fantastic animals and kind of super horses. They did not need shoeing, can carry heavy loads, and need less food and water than other pack animals. For this reason, in the year 1855, Congress approved the financing of military experiments with camels. The first mission entrusted to the experimental group was to discover a direct route between Fort Defiance in Arkansas and the Colorado River, very close to Los Angeles. The 1,000 miles of desert were crossed by the camels without major setbacks. But the beginning of the Civil War brought the demise of the Camel Corps, since its main supporters were from the Confederacy. In addition, the forces that fought in the war depended on horses and mules. Sadly, this operation was never accepted by service members, and the public hardly knew it existed, yet alone thought it was a success. The camels were distributed among circuses and released into the wild. Shark bombers. Following the theme of the animal kingdom, we have reached the end with the shark. After World War II, the U.S. Navy once tried to use sharks to drop bombs into enemy waters. The project trainers worked to attach a radio control system and explosives to the sharks and used shocks from 5 to 25 volts to guide the sharks, which made them very angry. The project ended in failure in 1971, but the Navy opted for shark drones to make its bid now. As we have seen in these videos, for many years military governments have done things to win some wars effectively. But other things they have done, well, let's say they did not go well at all. But now it's your turn. What do you think about these failed projects? If you have any project of this style, leave it to me in the comments below. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to this channel to see more similar videos, and hit the notification bell so YouTube will notify you when we upload a new video. We upload videos every week. Don't miss it. You will not regret it.